Welcome to MoveAbroadAndThrive.com. Y'all got a special guest here. This is Valerie. She recently flew into Mexico. This was your second trip, right?
Right.
Flew into Mexico and wanted to scout out and look for some land, and we found some. She bought some. Next trip, she'll be coming back to start the building process. So I want to introduce you to her. Welcome, Valerie.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So I know we talked briefly. Well, we've been talking a lot over the last 10 days, and you have some stories to share and adventures. And how did you discover Mexico? I found that story very intriguing that you was telling me last night.
Well, I've been hearing of Mexico most of my life. Never been, prior to my twice prior to my exploration trip. Reason being is that Mexicans was leaving Mexico and coming to the U.S. So why would I come to Mexico? Back in 1980s, when I finished high school, telling my age, but it's okay. I worked for Merrill Lynch right out of high school, and I had a supervisor who told me, she always took vacations and she always went to Mexico. She always ranted and raved about Mexico, Ixtapa and Puerto Vallarta. So I promised myself one day I'm going to go to Mexico. But life started lifing, started having kids and whatever. And so it was in the back burner. Fast forward to about around 45 years old. And also I want to make note that as a child, I think this is my calling, what I'm about to say, but as a child in the 70s, I used to watch commercials with Mother Teresa.
Okay.
Feed the Hungry. And this little frail lady with all these Ethiopian children, and she was not vocal at all. She just, always had a tear or a sad face or some caption would come on TV. Never know that influenced me in the biggest way.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
so I heard about this group of medical team with gynecologists, psychologists, sociologists, and just medical doctor going over into Jamaica.
Okay.
Doing medical missions. I heard about it through church. So I decided that's right down my lane. I like to help people, so I started traveling. So about the 7th year, that's when the thought to move abroad.
Okay.
I said I could do this, and Jamaica was so beautiful. But then life started lifing again. I got promoted at work, and it's been about 6 or 7 years. But about 3 years ago, I went to Jamaica, and it changed. So I started looking back at Mexico. I had a medical procedure in 2019 in Tijuana, Mexico.
Okay. So you went there and did that. Okay.
Right. So the young lady, they had a salon there, so I was getting a pedicure. And the young lady that was doing my pedicure, and we was right on the ocean. If I went in, I stayed in an apartment. If I went in my bedroom, I got to see the hills, the mountain, and the sunset.
Okay.
Or the moon over the mountain. It was a beautiful sight. All the lights with the homes in the valley. If I went in the living room, it was on the ocean. So I saw the moonlight, there, or the sunset. It was beautiful. So the young lady said, "You should experience Mexico City. Have you ever gone?" I told her no. So she said, "Well, you should try Merida." So I said, "Merida?" She said, "Oh, it's beautiful. You'll love it there." So I said, "Merida, Mexico, never heard of it." But then the incident happened with the black female and the 2 males coming over. The female was coming for a medical procedure, and I think somebody got killed in a crossfire cartel.
Couple of years ago.
That pumped the brakes real hard. So I started watching YouTube a lot, and in my feed, Ghana.
Okay.
The year of the return, come to Ghana. And like I shared with you, my mother and I used to clean my great-grandmother's house on Saturday, go cook. My great-grandmother lived to be 113. And so she had got into dementia, and she would start reliving slavery because she was indeed a slave. She was born in the 1800s. And it used to fascinate me, But back to the Ghana thing, I was coming up on my 60th birthday. And so I said, I'm going somewhere that's a milestone year for me. So I said, I'm going to go to Ghana on behalf of her. She left as a slave. I'm going to return in her honor for my 60th birthday for her. And I did go there and went to the Slave River. It was very emotional, very spiritual.
Okay.
Walked bare feet, and it was like a presence, and then the stories, I won't go into the stories, but very sad. But Ghana was intriguing. It was vast. It was beautiful. But I went on the Cape Coast, and it was very rural. So I decided I didn't work hard as I did and raise my kids as a single mother to go somewhere, even though it afforded me to have a vast land and a huge house, very, very affordable.
So you were thinking about buying land in
there,
Ghana? Okay.
Yeah, I switched gears from Mexico and went to Ghana. And but what was so disappointing, it was some beachfront property that I was looking at, very affordable. The young lady was selling it for $5,000 for 100 by 100 foot plot, which was nice.
How
but
much?
what she 100 by 100, $5,000 on the ocean. Oof. Beautiful in the mountains, but what she never showed was that how was I going to get there? No, roads washed out. The terrain was very mountainous. We was started in a small vehicle, not even halfway. We had to get in a Jeep, and the Jeep struggled. So when I got there, my son was there with me, and we were both in awe. And finally, he came to me. He said, "You like this?" I said, "I can't do it." Because he said, "Why?" And I said, "Where's the hospital? Where's the help? How can help get to me?" He said, "Mom, that's what I was going to say." He said, "You would need a helicopter."
Wow.
To get here. I said, I need a pilot, and I can't afford neither, So,
So to make sure I understand, so you saw some beautiful land, or they were selling beautiful land, 100 by 100 feet on the ocean, looked beautiful, but when you got there, you had to go through all that washed out roads, terrain, that you had to switch cars, and it was like, if I hadn't came and seen this for myself, I would have even been out of money.
And I almost bought it sight unseen. Almost bought it sight unseen with something.
Wow.
Me, I always got to go see.
I'm
going to go check it out. I'm going to study it. I'm going to follow, not like YouTubers, all walks of life. I'm going to listen to white people, black people, whoever. I want everybody's experience before I make a decision. And then I got to go put my foot on the ground. And so that's what I did. So I kind of wanted to romanticize the idea of, wow, I'm a queen, I deserve to live like one on the ocean. But then the reality of it, does it really make sense? And I recently had a heart condition and had heart surgery. So it's key that I'm close around medical attention. So I finally asked, where is the hospital and where is the EMS? And that question wasn't answered till I got home. There isn't an EMS. There isn't a hospital.
Wow.
And then there's a lot of, I followed YouTubers, and there was a lot of poisoning, going on in the Gambia, and then it ended up making its way to a Sable. That's where I was. The story was very biblical, but still, the next thing that was a deal breaker for me is that the police, all along the Cape Coast Highway, there were stops along the Cape Coast Highway, and they asked, it was the police, and they would do checks. I didn't see them driving around and patrolling. They just were at these stops. Okay. And every stop, you're getting shook down. And what I mean shake down, give me something small, and it's the people, the very people, the few people that you can trust, the people who put in place for you to trust, you can't. Those are the very ones that's going to shake you down. Now, I hear the stories about that here in Mexico, and I've passed road stops, but what I see, the police on the ground with the guns on, fixing on somebody's car, changing the flat, pushing the car. Now, I've heard the stories that the police will check you down here too, but it's prevalent there, and it was a deal breaker from every time I leave the house. You're going to get the people begging because they're hungry. You're going to get the police that you got to, when we went to the Slave River, we was detained like a half hour. The cabbie kept coming back, getting money until he ran out and said, they told me that I better get some from you on the way back. Had to pay his friends off on the way back. And that was a deal breaker for me. And that was, you know, so a lot of people are over there romanticizing that they are able to accomplish the American dream. Have a big home on a big piece of land, but is it worth all the corruption, all the, you know? That was a deal breaker. So I came back home. That was September last year, the last week of September, first week of October. I was
so
in
that
Ghana.
was recent.
That was 2023.
Okay.
And so Christmas, December 26th, I decided, hell, I'm going to Mexico.
Hey, Mexico.
So at a spur of a moment, I booked 2 flights. Me and my son headed here, and we stayed in the Gallerias at Paseo de Montejo, Francisco de over in that area. And so I did, you know, being influenced by yourself and a couple more YouTubers here in Merida, we walked, because you often say, you know, come see for yourself. Come walk. You got to walk the streets. You got to feel it out. Fill out the areas that you're scouting to see if it's somewhere you can be. So I did just that, even though it was hot in December. A couple of days was nice and cool. But we walked, you know, we went to the museum, we visited cenotes, we walked, and I used to utilize the laundry service, one of those lavanderias. Met a couple people, met a man from Canada who gave me some good info as far as getting residency. And I shared it with a Nigerian girl, and she was successful, you know, getting 4 years just like that. It cost about $1,200 US, but it was doable. Me and my son couldn't do it because although we have came to Mexico, the first time we came, they didn't stamp my book. My passport. I came across the border via vehicle. So I'm here. You know, I decided that I can do it. And so I came back here again for my 61st birthday.
61st.
61st, yep.
Y'all, she don't look like, my daughter was like, she look like she was in her 40s.
So I'm back here, and I reached out to you again about your, you know, the services, some of the services that you offered, and I gotta say, you have went above and beyond.
Thank you.
And I appreciate it. I couldn't have done it without you. There's YouTubers who say that you can do this on your own, maybe if I were coming to rent. But what you helped me do, and how you put me on, the resources you provided, is immeasurable. It's immeasurable. It was top of the line. I came here, I was early, I couldn't check into my Airbnb, and shout out to Kim, Miss Kim, I appreciate you. You opened up your home to me, a stranger off the street, opened up your home to me. I sat with you in your house a couple of hours until I could check into my Airbnb. You and your wife came over, scooped me right up, made me feel at home.
Cause what happened with that? You got off the plane, ordered the taxi, and they took you to the wrong place the first time.
Well, the address that the Airbnb host had given me was the wrong address. So I ended up telling the guy the name of the place. And then that had the right address. And
brought you here.
Brought us over. We was close, about a mile or two, and that brought me here. And I know I had a 3 o'clock check-in. But I got here about 1:30.
So she was standing outside and was like, "Cartel, can you come get me? You know, my host is not going to let me check in early, because it gets hot out there, you know." And so fortunately, we live literally like 3 minutes around the corner. So when she called, we just jumped in the car, came and scooped her up, brought her back to the house, hung out for a couple of hours to her check-in time, and brought her back, and boom, you know. So it's things happen, you know. Sometimes things don't go as planned, and one of the reasons why I suggest, you know, while you're planning your stay, you know, connect with people in those Facebook groups, you know, book a consultation with somebody. So that way you have a contact, somebody you can pick up the phone and call in case things go wrong, because it can. People lose their cell phones, or they lose their cell phone in the Uber, and all of a sudden they have no communication. So write those numbers down on paper, keep it in your pocketbook, and so in case, again, you need to make some calls, you got it. Losing those cell phones happen a lot, you know, so I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to jump in there.
That's good. That was a good teachable moment. And that's exactly right. So, like I said, I got here, first night settled in. The next day, he had me busy. He had scheduled for me to have a, a consultation with someone that, someone you featured before, I won't call names. And I had been watching video with you and him, I thought was recent. Fair enough that when I came to have the consultation, that video was a year old. However, you had that person on recently before my visit, and I think you guys were looking at a container. And on the property you was looking at, he was telling you about how you could have chickens, whatever, goats if you wanted to on the land, because of the area out here is kind of not really fully developed, but they're building all over. So to me, you know, I understood that you still can build cheaper. You've proven that you can purchase land and you can build on it. And yes, indeed, you can do it affordable. Now, I had a goal, because like in Africa, you can build a house on the low.
Yeah.
Now, I can afford more, but if I can get what I want for less, I mean, who don't want that?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want something for less? Same quality, but less. I mean, that's the attraction, right?
Yeah.
The culture, the people. It's like you stuck back in a time warp. People are peopling. People still feel, people still acknowledge you here. Like you stepped back into the 70s when the village was raising the children. People acknowledge you as a human being. They're not so uptight and caught up and frustrated because stuff is so high. You know, people are not living anymore like they're doing in the U.S. They're not living.
Yeah.
They're living to make a dollar. If you have something nice, you can't sit back and enjoy it. You have to work 2 and 3 jobs to keep it. Well, if that is being afforded to me here, why come here and build something at $400,000 when I can build something at $2?
Yeah.
And I'm fine. It's just me. So I thank you. You know, I'm not gonna hop on that because you turned me on to Arturo and Valeria. Oh my God. Oh my God. When you had them on, Arturo come across as shy, but Arturo is the bomb.com.
He's a beast.
He's a beast. He's helping me with the fideicomiso. That's something you would need when you purchase land and to build on there. Arturo looked up the land. It is legitimate land. It's undeveloped, but there's 2 providers neighboring it.
Yeah.
There's a community that's not a provider directly behind it. I think the one side on Calle 10 is a green area. I don't know if they're going to reserve that or not, but I mean, I feel like I made a good choice. All the cables, all the lights, because storms come here as they do in Florida, so you don't see the overhead electric wires, but you see the posts because they're underground. Same thing they offer in San Diego Cuts. I feel confident. I feel good. Again, I'll be retired. I won't be working remotely. I'll be living off my pension, my Social Security, my rental income, because I own my property, my home in Florida, which is another good source of income. So, as I stated, you extended yourself every day. Cortez was there. Cortez had stuff. He texted me on day 1. What is it you're here for? What are you hoping to accomplish? And I told him I wanted to look at homes within providers And that was to give me an idea of what it is that I like, what it is that I want. So that was a starting point for me. But I told him I would settle living in a Pravada, but my desire was to purchase land and to build on it. And he delivered. We went a few days. We went to the home he just moved in. There's a architect who built the home, and she had homes in a Pravada. I think you guys saw the house with the teal. A portion of the house was teal and gray. That house was beautiful. Had all the bells and whistles, and it was $216 US. That was very affordable. The maintenance was great. The design and the layout was everything that I wanted. I didn't, I asked him for what I wanted, and he delivered. He didn't try to get me to go 4.6 to 5.2 million and buy a castle. I don't need a castle. My kids are grown and gone. He provided me. He listened to me, and he was willing to provide me with what I need. And he didn't stop until we got there, And that's service, His family went each day, whether it was one of his daughters, his wife Kim. And again, my birthday was on the 27th. I got some bad news, but they came through to cheer me up. So when you do an exchange and someone pay you for a service, you have developed a relationship, whether you agree, whether you believe that or not. A relationship has started. It's called a business relationship. And sometimes those go south, and sometimes you can create a friendship that may last you a lifetime. And if not, you're going to create a friendship that would generate other business. So, hats off to you. For anybody willing to take this chance, Cortez went above and beyond. He had something scheduled. He had the lawyers. He came to me. We went to see the architect. We went to see the builder. We went to the attorney. He even took me to the bank. Directed me to the bank. Yeah, one day we went to the bank the first day to open a Mexican bank account so that the fideicomiso could be started. And he was always a phone call or a text away. He or his wife helped me order food, ran out of pesos, had a delivery, had US dollars, had credit cards, but the signal was bad. So I had to send the Uber driver to your house yesterday, the food delivery, so his wife could pay for my food. So, this experience has been epic. Like I said, Arturo has verified that it's not a Hito land. Yeah. It's legit. And if anybody is interested in that, y'all contact Move Abroad and Thrive. I have another YouTuber that took me out, and hats off to her, kudos to her. She know who she is, and hardworking person. But if y'all want some business, y'all definitely come to this man. He don't brag about it. He have other people specializing in these services, but he's top notch, and he's all he need. But that's the humbleness you're willing to share and get your platform with others. Yeah. Because hey, it's enough out there for everybody, right?
Plenty out there.
So Kim, if you're listening, Charlie and Haley, thank you for loaning me your father, your husband, these 10 days. And thank you guys for being so pleasant. And it's going to be forever. I'm forever grateful. And it was some of the most memorable times through a hard time. I'm going through something right now. And you guys helped me through it. It really helped me through it, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. I mean, it's been a joy working with you as well. Oftentimes people will come and they don't know what they want. And so it's very difficult to, work with them or coordinate with them, but you came ready. You knew exactly what you wanted. You knew what your budget was. You knew, and that's half the battle. And I'm constantly suggesting to people, to have a plan, know what your goals are, what's your why, and really just knowing what those goals are, what your plans are, and it's just going to make everything go so much smoother. And so you made it very easy and enjoyable to work with, and so we definitely had a great time. I actually learned a lot during this process with you.
Wow.
Seeing the other sides of things. I've been primarily working with people, helping them rent and stuff. But to be working on the buying side, I'm constantly learning new stuff. So it's been a fun ride. I got excited with you. Did you ever think you would be buying land? I guess the idea of buying land in Mexico probably just never ever crossed your mind until, back in the past.
I never thought it. And the part that I didn't say, well, after I returned from Mexico and Ghana that year, the first of this year, I decided to do my ancestry.
Okay.
And with that, I found out I was 26% Northern Africa, Ethiopia area. I was 10.8% Scandinavian. I was 28% Nigerian, and the other 16%, surprisingly, was along the Mexican border.
Really?
Yeah, Mexico, Guatemala, and Peru.
Wow.
So, but to answer your question, no, I never thought. So I didn't get the African aspect of it, but I have a place where some of my ancestors roam.
Yes, yeah.
Right here. So I knew I was intentional. I knew that when I came, maybe on the financial, I didn't bring money with me. I'm moving with equity in my home. So I didn't understand, about the fideicomiso and the little fees here and there. I came prepared. My trip here was in July 17th. I went to McAllen. And I applied for the my permanent residency, and because I qualified, for permanent residency via economic solvency.
Okay.
So I made a trip to McAllen for my interview at the consulate. I started it, my permanent residency on that end in Florida in July. And so I had 6 months, but again, this was another milestone birthday, 61st birthday. Yeah. So I planned my vacation to come here, but I was indeed intentional. If I saw something, now is the time.
Now is the time.
Now is the time. So, and I knew that if I found something, that I was going to move on it.
Okay.
Because again, things are going up, and instead of going up, and if whether I move here or not, it's just time to invest.
Yeah.
It's an investment opportunity. The time is now. And for who's ever listening, you guys out there, if you're thinking about it, don't hesitate, do it. Because even if you feel like you can't live here, you made a good investment.
Yeah.
People are moving here from all walks of life. In the immigration office, when I came to finish my Kanye process, which I do have my permanent residency here. Now, I picked it up the other day. Happy birthday to me.
Yeah.
Every 10th person was a Black American.
Really?
Every 10th person. On my first thing, I went there on Monday to start the completion of it, and I picked it up on the 26th, 27th, and both times, every 10th person in that immigration office was a Black American. So people are coming here, y'all, and it's not just Canadians. So if you're thinking about moving abroad, now is the time. And it's still not late. They got ample land, but the price is not. And I got a deal, Arturo, if you're listening, Valeria, wow, he will fight for you. He's going to ensure that that land is good land. He's going to ensure that they're selling you that land at a reasonable, marketable price, not price gouging. He's going to make sure that land is titled in your name first before you start building, unless you're buying and building with the same company. Mine's, on the other hand, is two different people. So, yeah.
Let me ask you this. So you got permanent residency What was the process like in McAllen? I know a lot of people go there. Was it difficult? Did you have any
No.
challenges or anything?
No, there was this lady called Virginia. She was a legal defense attorney. And so we had background. She was so pleasant. And I intentionally mentioned her name when I came to the appointment. I had a 8:15, 8:30 appointment. I got me an appointment a couple streets over. A hotel a couple streets over from the consulate. I showed up. There was a small line around, and it's not really a huge place, and it's not really a busy place. But the line did go like halfway around the building, which it wasn't a very huge building. I let them know that I had an appointment. I sat at the front door, let them know that I had an appointment, and that I called the lady Victoria. I should say there wasn't a Victoria there, but it was Veronica. And not Veronica, Virginia. I'm sorry, it was Virginia. And before I knew it, she said, "I got you, Mama." And she said, when they finally took me in for my appointment, she said, "Virginia will see you." So she really took care of me. She knew who I meant, and so I was there not even an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
They told me to go upstairs. There's a little waiting area. They play this, some kind of videos in Spanish. Didn't learn a thing, didn't know a thing. But I went through the motion. It was great. And after the video stopped playing, it was maybe 10 people in there. And Virginia called me back, and she asked me, I had all my papers, and what they required of me through economic solvency, I had to have 6 months of my bank statements.
Okay, the actual bank statement.
The actual bank statement that came through the mail, because I have my bank statements come through the mail.
Okay.
However, I also went to my credit union because that's my bank. I told them what I was trying to do, and she provided me a printout of my average balance for the past 6 months. She stamped that. It was on the company letterhead. She stamped it and she signed it, and she provided her phone number. Said, "You have any questions, please feel free to call me."
Okay.
And I had my application and a copy of that. I had 4 copies of each, but I didn't need any of it. So they took one copy, and then a copy of the original. They took the original packet, the application, the 6 months bank statement. And on my bank, I had, when I had heart surgery, I put my youngest son's name on my bank account. If something happened, he could get my money, he could do whatever. And I also was trying to build his credit, so his name was on there. So just in case they question it, I bought a copy of his birth certificate to prove that he wasn't my husband, and that on the birth certificate showed that I was his mother. And I brought that to their attention, but she didn't care. She said, "I don't need that." But she talked to me about my line of work. You know, I'm in corrections. I'm a sergeant, work inside of a jail, and she just asked me a couple questions. But she did ask me, "Why is it that you want to move to Mexico?" And I just lit up with the culture. I told her my experience in Merida, how kind people were, how people greet you. And she just saw how intrigued I was with the place. And she said, "I'll be back." And on my application, when I emailed, because that's what I had to do, you had to send an email to their website, and she would answer. And then she'd tell you, "When do you want to come?" So I told her, these are the dates that I would like to visit. So of the dates that I told her, she came back in an email and said, "Okay, July 17th, 8:30. And that was it. And I went from there. And like I said, when she asked me why, and I told her, and I also put in the email, I'm applying for temporary, but I qualify for permanent. And the reason why I did it, I wasn't sure if I would qualify for permanent. Because, people say if you're 60 or older, they'll give it to you. She didn't say that was it. I was 60 when I was 60. And then right away she said, I'm gonna give you permanent residency. And I just lit up Boy, I was so happy. She said, I'm going to take your picture when I come back, okay? She got up, she took my packet back there. She said, and they asked me why I did it. And she said, because we need people. We need good people. You know, you're the type of people that they want. And so that's what she did. She said her boss questioned it. That's her answer. Why? And I said, wow, thank you. You know, she was intrigued with, I guess, the conversation that we had.
Yeah.
She took my picture, and I qualified.
Yeah.
I overly qualified. I met the threshold, and it was intentional. And what God has for you is for you.
It's for you.
And
it's for you.
That's why.
Do you remember during your research what the monthly financial requirements were to qualify in McAllen? I know some Mexican embassies, the numbers are different.
Yeah. When I applied in Florida, Miami, whew, get out of here. It was too much. I mean, the financial aspect I met, which was like 45 or something a month, but they also wanted you to provide a letter from your employer that you can work abroad. That you can work remotely.
Yeah.
I'm a police officer.
I'm
in a jail. I can't work remotely. So that just shot me in the foot, you know. And a couple of them want that requirement, and that's something new. But the McAllen, Texas one, and right before I went, they stopped taking applications if you didn't live in the state of Texas.
Ooh, so you got in just in time.
I got in just in time. So someone came up on this site, this group that I follow, and said, if you have an appointment, you better check to see if it's canceled, because they ain't taking if you don't live there. So I got on there and I emailed them, and she said, no, you're good.
Come on.
And so when I got there, she did tell me that she was the only one doing the appointment scheduling. And she said she had become overwhelmed. And so I would still try at McAllen, whether I'm there or not. She told me she put that up there. She pumped the brakes because so many people, and she was so overwhelmed. So, hey, if y'all want to try McAllen, and to answer your question, it was $3,400.
Okay.
It was one of the cheapest ones to qualify for.
And that's probably why they were getting slammed.
And that's why they was getting
slammed. Everybody was trying to get over there and get that appointment.
They was trying to get over there, and they overwhelmed her. So if you're still hoping, I would try it.
You would try it.
I'll try it still, even though whether you live in Texas or not, I would try McAllen. Wow. And I would do it periodically. I think they took it down.
Yeah.
Because she told me that's why she did it. She was overwhelmed. So she didn't say because she really had to stay there.
Yeah.
She just said she was overwhelmed at the time.
So good information, y'all. So definitely try that option, check it out. And also be mindful that it could go the other way. So, if you don't live there, it may be an issue, but it may not be an issue. So definitely investigate it. Africa, I hear a lot of people talking about it. I hear people talk about it all the time. And the funny thing about it, many of the people that were so pro move to Africa, I've noticed many of those folks have come back to the States or have gone to other countries. Based on your experience, would you live there, or is it what's the word I'm looking for? Are Americans ready to give up their level of comfort to go to a place, to many of the places
not.
there?
And the people who are there, to be honest, I do a lot of research. And after I came back from Africa, there were a lot of murders happening in the Gambia. And again, like I said, it moved to Sable, to Cape Coast. And then you have stuff going on that they won't talk about. So a lot of people romanticizing, I think, the American dream. Now there's a couple, it appears that if you go over there with your husband, those people are kind of successful, but those people are dealing with a lot. They're dealing with, you got to put Rottweilers in the yard, you're putting burglar bars on your window, and then the lights are going out for 35, 40 days. I mean, they have power outages here. God. They don't have water, running water. The witchcraft is through the roof. So your power is out. They come to your window. They blow a dust or put something through your window that can make you sleep. They have something to melt the burglar bars and cut them and come right in there on you anyway. So many single black women go over there, older single black women go over there and let some of those jokers get a hold to them. Come on, 30 years old.
So
Really?
Older women,
yes, dating,
60, 70, 30-year-old boyfriend.
Going with these young guys, 38, 30s.
Wow.
Come on, you know better. You know better than that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, again, it appears there's a young lady over there now, they'll touch on you, you know, unwanted touches. Women don't have a voice there, and it's not the legal system. They'll wear you down. Some YouTubers that's over there now that I follow have problems with rent. They don't repair anything because they can't afford to.
Yeah.
You take them to court, you're going to pay this person off. And then they tell you to come back next week or 30 days later. Now you're going to pay his friend off. And you're going to pay him. And you're going to be so frustrated. I've never seen justice served yet, you know, with some of the issues. A young lady that's there now. She's building in Grace City. There's another couple that built successfully in Grace City, but they've had their ups and downs. They have Rottweilers and bars and the retainer wall. So it costs, you know. So to me, in America, you're looking over your shoulder. You don't know when someone's going to do a school shooting, and you don't know when they're going to do a hate crime. But in Africa, you got your own people who look like you. So how comfortable is it that you behind your retainer wall with the Rottweilers and the bars? So are you really sleeping comfortably at night?
Yeah.
Are you really? You know, you go out on the roadway, you're going to get shook down at every stop by the police who's in place to protect you. So there's a young lady building in Grace City now. She has a YouTube channel. And she told it like it was. She said people over there hungry and scared to go back. So a lot of people left Rome. You know, they burnt bridges. A lot of people went over with PPE and probably on the run. You know, people over there hungry and embarrassed, up and moved, and they romanticized Africa. There's a young lady over there. She got her children here, but she's over there doing business. But to me, a peace of mind, you know. Yeah. There's a happenstance, there's a possibility you can get caught in the crossfire maybe here, but I mean, it's trouble everywhere but it's chaos in Africa. I mean, go over there if you want, but I mean, think with your good sense.
Yeah.
Don't go over there romanticizing the American dream. You can have the American dream in Mexico. At least everybody have retaining walls. But I don't see burglar bars. Yeah. I don't see the dogs in the yard to protect it. Yes, everybody living in a Povada. Oh, and if you're living in a Povada, if you want security and you come to Mexico, you gonna get just that.
So you experienced that firsthand.
You're gonna get top flight security.
Share your experience about Povada, because you and your Airbnb is in a Povada.
So this is the Airbnb, and here come the rules. Here are the rules. No visitors after 10 o'clock. No more than 5 visitors. Don't run in the pool area. The pool is slippery. Don't jump in the pool. Every time I came here, if you get it going about half your day, now shift change is gonna come. So you're gonna get shook down, not at the gate. When I say shook down, they're not asking you for money. You just ain't coming in here. You ain't got no credentials. You are not coming in here if you don't supposed to be here. If you can't prove that you're supposed to be here. So this happened about 3 days. The owner apologized to me so many times that she just called and said she could get deliveries. She got these people coming that's showing her around. Let them in.
Let them in. And then it never happened.
And then it never happened until you show up and you're going to get shook down again.
Got to go through the whole process.
The whole process. So if you want security, if you come in here in the provider for security, you're going to get just that.
You're going to have that security.
And if somebody in front of you is having a hard time in that line,
Start backing
up around that gate, I hope you have your Depend and your Pampers on if you got to use the bathroom, because you're not coming in that Provada. So
wow.
I will say top flight security.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
that they serious. There's Provadas, there's private residencies, HOAs in the States, but I think Mexico got them beat, boy.
Yeah.
It ain't happening. You ain't coming in there.
Yeah, you ain't getting in. and I got a chance to see it from another perspective. So investors are buying homes inside of these providers and they renting them out. They're putting them on Airbnb. And, you know, you as the owner, the guard from the gate is constantly ringing your phone all hours of the day, trying to get permission to let your guests into the property. Because, like she said, for 3 days, even though they kept seeing her come in, or it might be a new shift, they're making a jump through all these hoops, having to call the owner and verify. And you as an investor, that will wear you down. Just constantly, hey, she got guests coming in, they ringing the phone. It's like, how am I peaceably making money or passively making money if I'm constantly taking these phone calls? So that's how strict these providers are, because the lady called that guard and told her multiple times, let her through whenever she show up and let her guests through. And each time,
And
man.
last night they let the pizza guy come in. And
They let him in?
They let the pizza guy come in here. But when they delivered my rental car, they had to walk through the gate.
God.
When they came to bring pizza last night, they walked from that guardhouse to get him. He was in here too long.
Oh, they came over here and got him?
They came and got him. She stood right there to see what was the hold up.
God.
And she stayed there until he got on his bike, on his motorcycle, and got escorted right up out of here. Kept saying, come on, come on. And because it was no reception, it was hard to...
The Wi-Fi was, ooh. Y'all see that? I mean, that's why I say I ain't living in no provider. But, like she say, if peace of mind and security is your number one objective, hands down, get yourself a provider.
Get your provider.
They ain't coming through. And if you call the guard at the gate and say don't let them out, they ain't gonna let them out.
You ain't getting that.
They gonna hold him down until you get up there and give him permission to let him out the gate. I can't believe them jokers came over here to check on, to see what was taking him so long
And
to finish.
that was the first lady, the little short one with the
Yeah.
white shirt. She came over here and got him. I was shocked.
And pressed him to hurry up.
And pressed him to hurry up.
Y'all don't want them headaches if you don't got to deal with it. So overall, do you feel safe in Merida?
I feel safe. I got my little rental car. And I didn't know what I was doing, but I drove.
Your first day you were driving.
I was driving my first day. I got caught in that downtown Merida traffic. Oh my God. Yeah. So nobody honked the horn. There's some little hotheads that'll go around you, but let them go around you.
Yeah.
These 3 lanes, these 2 lanes become 3 lanes. It's actually kind of fun.
Yeah, when you get the hang of it, you rolling with them.
Yeah, you roll with them. Going in that Glorietta, those turnabouts. Shoo. Trying to figure that one out, but hey, everybody just fall in where they get in. And so it was good. But as far as safety issue, no safety issue. My family called, you driving? What's wrong with you? You over there by yourself? You in Mexico? Mexico, chilling.
Wow.
I'm riding around here like I'm here.
Uh-huh.
And these 10 days came by quick. I'm leaving in the morning. But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, not one time in the bank, nice, greeted with smiles. Sitting on the park bench, I always was made it to my I&M appointments hours ahead of time. Sitting out on the park bench, the ladies look and wait for you to make eye contact, smile, hola, buenos dias, smile like welcome. Yeah, so I never once felt, and I'm talking about early in the morning, 7:30, walking. I was just out there in the park today in this development, greeted by somebody working on they building an addition to the apartment over there. And I didn't think she saw me, but I just looked back and I did this, but the branches was in the way. She ducked back. She saw me. I smiled. So Yeah, and even at my job, you can walk down the hallway and say hello, and they look like you're invisible. So yeah, the friendliness, you feel welcome. You feel like you belong. At the gas station, they pump you gas.
Yeah.
You know, and with a smile.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
nobody
with a
seems
smile.
depressed and just miserable, and yeah, so.
So you took your clothes to the laundry. How was that when you
Yeah.
picked it up? Did they sort it?
Oh man, it was folded so neat. If I packed the bag, I took that bag, the clothes was bursting out. I had a little shopping bag full of clothes. Clothes was bursting out the seam. I came back to get the clothes. They're tied down in a little plastic bag, neat.
Yeah.
And I'm missing something.
I'm missing. Yeah, that's how it be looking.
Yeah, everything was there. Maybe a sock, probably a static clean or something. It's just a sock. But just folded just as neat. I ain't learned to fold them clothes that small. And I'm a big girl, so you know, they fold them clothes so compact. And I think I paid 45 pesos.
Just like.
And it was a load of clothes.
$2.50.
About a $2.50. That's
That
one wash
one
in
wash.
the U.S. Wash, dry, fold. Can't beat it.
And that includes the laundry detergent, the washing and drying, the folding, the packaging, and $2.25. It can't beat that. And Louisa, that's who you rented your car from. A lot of these car rental places, especially if you're trying to rent a car from the airport, they will get you on a deposit. Sometimes they be asking for $1,500, $2,000, even $3,000 US dollars as a deposit, plus however much you wanted to rent the car for. But with Louisa, she doesn't charge a deposit, and she will bring the car to you. So in fact, if you wanted to rent the car and you say, hey, I'm flying into the airport on Monday, I arrive at 10 a.m., she will bring the car to the airport. And then when you fly out of here, she will come and pick the car up from the airport. So that's she's very, very helpful. So she came here, delivered the car, and came back and picked it up yesterday, I believe. And just a great lady. So check around, especially if you're thinking about renting from the airport, because they will get you on the fees. Anything else? Any other experiences you have since you were here?
While you're on that, Louisa, when I got here on the 19th, the 20th, I had an appointment, early morning appointment. And when you called Louisa, that was some of the stipulations that I would rent from her, provided that she got that car here by 7:30.
Yeah.
She had that car here by 7:30.
Prompt.
When she was prompt, we went around, did a walkthrough, check for damages, check the gas, where the gas should be returned back on. I hopped in the car and went to my appointment to the I&M office. I met them on the road. They was walking. They was getting it in the hot sun. They was about a mile or two away, almost to the highway out there. And looking at them, I said, y'all walk? They actually caught the bus. Well, they drove the car here, but they had to catch the bus back. So I said, no, get in here. Where do you live? And they say by Central. And I said, okay, well, I can take you far as I'm going to the I&M office. They showed me the I&M. They directed me to the I&M.
Took you right there.
Told me don't park on the curbs with the yellow.
Okay,
It has to be a white. And they got out and went on about their business.
So that was helpful, did. So so you got a little training class on the way down there. Oh, that worked out.
And that was my first time driving. I had them in there, so yeah, it was a good experience. The only other thing I want to talk about is big behind spots.
Oh, tarantulas. Was that your first time seeing a tarantula in person?
First time seeing it personal. They're here, y'all, and they want to come visit you right at your doorstep.
What was going through your mind when you saw the first one?
Freak me out. There's a little garden area right here off from the living room, and I cut the light on, and there it is. Like every night, he want to come in here and visit me every night. So that's kind of creepy. Last night when the pizza guy came, I learned to knock on the door like you suggest, in case lizards in the threshold or whatever in the threshold. And saw a frog, didn't see a spider. So just when I was gonna step, a big one just standing there. I swear he like threw his hands up at me. That's how it looked like he did. I'm just being funny, but that joker got in that stance on me. I started screaming. I told the pizza guy, "Hey, I'm not coming out there." I closed that door. And he started walking toward me a little bit. I said, "No, I can't come out there." So he came and stamped on the, killed the spider and kicked him away. I was creeped out the whole time. I had on a dress.
Yeah,
and
checking.
yeah. And then when you come home, you see them crawling on the road and out there.
Oh.
So I got kind of used to it though.
Got used to
but
it.
it really creeped me out. Being here by myself, it creeps me out. But so that'll take some getting used to.
You know, right now it is mating season for these tarantulas, so you see them in abundance. And I don't know how long that season will last, a month or two, but one day they'll just be gone. You won't see them no more. But yeah, right now you see them everywhere, mainly at night. You don't generally see them in the daytime, but at night they come out. And like you say, I never in my mind would think I would get used to seeing them things, but you know, now it's like, okay, they ain't gonna bother me. They gonna run from me for the most part, long as they ain't harassing. One of my daughter's friends was over here at the house the other day. He running around picking them up.
Yeah.
I like, man, you done lost your mind.
Because they was raised here, so they know which ones are dangerous. The guy, I was looking at some houses in a provider the other day, and one of the young lady's son told me if they have that orange color, like if they have color on their body, they are the ones that's not poisonous. I don't know how true that is. The all black ones are the ones that's poisonous. But I ain't giving none of them creepy jokers.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get used to that arachnophobia moment. I had an arachnophobia moment.
Yeah.
But I was like, kind of like jumpy for a minute. Every night, to tell you the truth, every night, because he climb up in that corner on the outside of that sliding glass door, I get kind of creeped. But it's temporary. But
yeah, exactly.
when I go out there in the pool, I'm going upstairs, I'm going to do a check. I'm going to do a security check on the spiders.
There you go.
Yeah, so I was in there 2 hours a day, I'm good.
Wow. Let me ask you this. So you look in that building, we looked at a ton of houses. So what have you, because it's different here, it's heat, a lot of humidity, and a lot of things they just do differently. Based on what you've seen so far, I guess, what are some of the must-haves that you need to have in a home? I know a pool is probably one. Is there something, because I know we talked about different things you would do within the house. What can you share some insight on what it's like to be in these houses and what you would do as you start to build your own, if you thought that far into it?
Yes, so pool is definitely a must. I don't care what age you are. If you're mobile, get a pool. Haven't experienced much power outages. Have had two. I woke up one night and I noticed it was a little warmer than usual, but it was only not even a half hour. The lights were back on. Last night there was a surge. About 1:30 this morning there was a surge, right back on, lights right back on. I hear that there's times that it may be longer, you know, and I think those are in the hotter months, and that's understandable. And I try to compare the heat here. I'm from Florida, South Florida, so it's hot there. It's humid there, but I live closer to the ocean, not even a mile or two from the ocean, so there's always a coastal breeze. So today I think was, you know, being out there in it and in the pool, the sun on your skin can get hot. Unbearable, no. So use some screen protector when you walk around here. Sunscreen. Talking about screen protector. That's for the computer. Use some sunscreen. Definitely, no matter what your complexion is. As far as the outside, as far as the house, one of the rules here at this Airbnb was that I had to I couldn't have the temperature on the AC, if you could see up there, on 24. Keep the ACs on 24, I guess. And I've been looking at YouTube videos and they say that keeps the electric bill
Yeah.
bearable.
Yeah.
And it's hot outside, and me being from Florida, the first couple hours in here, I said, "Ooh, I don't know. This might be a little, this might be a little hot." 'Cause I have my AC thumping around the clock. So I said, this might take some getting used to. But then when you come from out there in that hot humidity
Yeah.
in here, you adjust.
You adjust.
You really adjust.
Yeah.
Stay hydrated. Indoors or outdoors, stay hydrated. I think I went through that whole 5-gallon garrafon within 10 days. I'm done with the whole 5-gallon. So, and if you're older like myself, stay hydrated. As far as the inside, when I cut the air off, that's a requirement here. She want me to cut the air off and the ceiling fans off whenever I left. So as Cortez, as you stated, we out all day. I mean, the last 2 days I've been catching up with sleep. Some of the best sleep I had was last night because we were out there full throttle in that sun, in and out, sweating. And so when I came back, hot. The house is hot, but the ACs, if you get that inverter, air AC, it cools it off quick. It's imperative that you have the ceiling fans to keep the airflow circulating. Also, what I'm understanding, I was just talking to Cortez this morning, yesterday, was that when you open the kitchen cabinets, there's some heat up under them kitchen cabinets still, even though the air is on here. Is, I guess, because it's not like freezing like I have the house at my house. So it still takes time for in those cabinet spaces to get cool. And I'm smelling a wet, moldy type, like a damp smell. So we was talking about in our homes, when he built his house, I built my house, what would we do? He was thinking about propping like the doors open. And I was suggesting getting the ventilation cabinets, those little slits, like the school PE lockers, maybe.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can explain it. The bathroom, there's a half bath right at the door in this house, so I just left it open.
Yeah.
It'll take a while for the house to cool, but once you do that, or when you come home, open all the cabinets and let that heat out of there. That's just my mind. That's what my mindset would tell me to do. Open all the cabinets if you don't get the ones that's slotted, so the air can circulate inside. Open all the cabinets when you come home and let it cool off in there too. And once it get at a steady cool level, then close them. And that's just a practice that you'll have to do, assuming. But I don't think I'll be cutting my air on and off when I leave. Now, I might cut it down to 24 when I leave, but I don't think this is the right area that you would just cut the air off.
Yeah. Cause there's a guy that we met. We were looking at it when we were looking for a house to rent. Went to one of these houses. The guy was gone for 2 months, and when he came back, the whole house was just mold and mildew everywhere. You know what I mean? Turned off all the air conditioning units. I assume he left some windows open, but that heat is so strong. I mean, there was no circulation, the airflow going through, and it showed. It was a beautiful house, and it was like, oh, I would love to rent it, but we ain't messing with that mold.
No.
Not at all. Not a chance. Oh, we're going to clean it. I'm like, no. And that got me to thinking, I'm like, man, what can be done? What are some little practices that can be done to minimize that?
I'm going to get some solar panels.
There you go.
Get that solar panel and leave that air on. Cut it up, but leave that air on. I'm in Florida. My house is on 74 right now, the AC. And I've been gone 10 days. My lights run constantly. My electric bill in Florida for my house, I don't have a huge house, 140, 145.
Okay.
And I don't have solar panels. But I just, I'm anemic, so I don't need to drop it to 60. I freeze. I couldn't stay in there. And then my air conditioning unit is like a 3-ton, and then I'm just over 1,000 square feet. So that's nothing. So it carries the weight of the house. But again, my outside lights are on, as well as my AC.
Wow. So you retire next year.
2025.
2025. We get a lot of people that they often wonder, can I live on my retirement? it gets to depend on the individual. Some folks are retiring on $1,500 a month, $2,500 a month, $3,500 a month. Can I live in Mexico on my retirement? You know, and I tell folks, I'm like, look, if you live in the States and you're probably struggling on it, you can live in Mexico. It's not going to be nearly as expensive as the States, and you're probably going to have a little bit more money left over and be more comfortable, have more freedoms and flexibility to do things. I say go for it, y'all. I mean,
Go for it.
this young lady here is buying a home, building a home, buying some land, building a home,
And it's massive.
Yes.
It's the cost of this home, 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath. Well, you might as well say 5-bedroom, 5.5 bath, because I'm getting a servant quarter.
Yeah.
Because I am 60 plus. I have a condition, and I'm getting older, not younger. Yeah. And so I just try to plan ahead of time. So I want a room where a servant quarter, there's a bathroom there, and I want that person to be comfortable. I don't want them to feel like they're thrown in the mop closet or the broom closet with the washer and the dryer. So there's a way I'm having it designed where that can be enclosed in the cabinet, not just open, because I want that person to belong to. So whether it be a housekeeper or as I age and need a companion in a house, I can afford that. And moving here is affording me that. Someone said like $1,000 for home health. I think I saw that on your on your Move Abroad and Thrive versus $8,000 in the U.S. You know, so you know, I'm coming with that in mind. On the downside, you know, I have 3 adult children, so if they come, they would have their room. You know, that's what I'm thinking of. And if push come to shove, I got a little culinary skill. Who knows? I can rent rooms. You might be directing your customers to me, and I'll do a little bed and breakfast there. Pool. You go. So the sky's the limit. But to answer your question, can you live here? Just being here and following some of your pointers, eat out local. He and his wife took me somewhere for my birthday and try to bring me up, my spirits up, lift my spirits with the little situation I have. And we all ate off that food. And at the end, you asked me how much did I thought that cost, and we were at a Chinese restaurant. Well, in Florida, to eat out at a Chinese restaurant, you're gonna pay $16, $17. It's a buffet, but you're gonna pay $16.
Plus your drink
to eat. All us ate. You had sushi. And we had 4 different varieties of food. The noodles, the rice, the meat with green beans, and meat with potatoes, and then your sushi and your drinks. And what that was, $8?
It was like the total for everything. Your meal by itself was like, cause it was that big, it was a whole lot. She was like, I can't eat this by myself. That was like $9 for that thing. And then with my sushi, the whole thing came out to like $22. And there was 3 of us. I think, did you take something you took?
I took it
They had
out.
to carry something out.
I had to take something out.
That's
All
how
of
much
us
it
ate
was.
out of it.
Yeah. And I had 2 drinks, cause I drunk through my soda real quick. You had them to drink, Kim had them to drink. So yeah, I mean, picking the right place to eat at, you can still get full, enjoy the meal, enjoy the ambiance, and look forward to going out. I do go out to eat a lot. I enjoy going out to eat, and but you can afford to do it.
Had a large Domino's pizza, meat lovers, delivered yesterday for $8. Delivered. It can be done on a fixed income. And I know you was telling me about someone you were assisting with a $300. She made it her own. You can't beat it.
Can't beat
it. This place here is a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2 stories with a pool and a Provado, and it's $43 a night. And the kitchen with all the wares, the pots, the pans, the spoons, the cups, the plates, everything.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
Hard to beat. Hard to beat, y'all. So come check out Merida for yourself. You know, it's not too late. A lot of folks they say, "Oh, I'm 60, I'm 70, it's past my prime, I'm on it." No, I met a lady who got here about a month ago, 78 years old. It's not over. You know what I mean? Get out here and you come check it out. Visit. Don't have to make a permanent decision. Just come visit, travel, get around, check the world out, you know, and see what's going on. And, you know, just your act of going out might be the thing that your kids or your grandkids might be motivated to go out and investigate themselves if they see you doing it. You know, I know we didn't travel much we didn't travel outside the country at all as kids. But had our parents done it more often, I imagine it would have gotten us out more, you know, quite often and without being so hesitant and scared to go. 'Cause there's a whole world out here, man.
Yeah.
It's a whole world. Any final words of wisdom?
Don't put off what you can do today for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Time ticking, life is short, and if you're mobile and might have some little chronic illnesses like myself, it's not too late. It's not too late. Get up, get moving, come see. If you have rental property, if you own your house, put it on Airbnb, rent it, let it be a source of income for you. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use it as a third source of income. It'll take care of itself. My pension, I can save. I could live on Social Security here. So, yeah, get out there, move abroad, and thrive. It's doable.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you. As she continues to make trips back and start building on her house, you know, we'll be out there highlighting some of that stuff so y'all can see. And, you know, so stick around. Visit the website, moveabroadandthrive.com. Sign up for our free newsletter to get free resources and tips about planning your move and living abroad. Moveabroadandthrive.com. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Booyah!